The state of Missouri has just passed a bill that will literally penalize local authorities if they follow through on enforcing federal gun laws. I'm not even kidding. In fact, Missouri isn't even the first state to do this, but Missouri is the first state that will financially penalize law enforcement if they follow through on federal laws. So Missouri's new law bars state and local authorities from enforcing federal gun laws, saying the law would increase the risk of gun violence in a state already drowning in it. The law, which Republican Governor Mike Parson signed this month, would subject law enforcement agencies with officers who knowingly enforce any federal gun laws to a fine of about $50,000 per violating officer.
Okay, I want to ask a quick question first. Actually, two questions. One is, what happened to the party of law and order?
Never existed.
Right.
Really.
So that's absolutely true. In fact, if you go back to the civil rights era, people, it was called civil disobedience. So people thought Martin Luther King and the civil rights leaders were breaking the laws down in the South. They actually weren't. Federal law supersedes state law. The civil rights leaders were actually following the law. It was the local sheriffs, governors, etc., that were actively breaking the law. That's why they had to send in the National Guard to enforce the law. And here we are again. Now, Republicans at the state level in Missouri saying, do not follow federal law. If you want to commit massacres, go ahead and do it. Grab these guns, fire them away. Who cares? I don't want any stinking laws around guns. I don't care how many mass shootings there are. Shoot, 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 shoot. Who cares? And if I ever catch a cop enforcing the law, you're gonna get fined $50,000. They passed that law in Missouri, fining cops.
It's amazing.
For enforcing the law.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Okay, so.
No, but thin blue line. Support the cops.
So that goes to my second point. Okay, first point is they do not believe in the rule of law at all. In our country, federal law supersedes state law. There's no question about it, especially in a circumstance like this. Okay, but the second point is, remember when Cori Bush and other progressives said, we should get rid of qualified immunity for the cops. So when they kill someone, like shoot them in the back, etc., the family members should be able to sue the cops individually, because that would give them a significant disincentive from actually killing people, beating up people for no reason, etc., right? And everyone, including the entirety of the Republican Party, pushed back and said, no way! To hold cops personally responsible and that they might be losing their own money, that is unconscionable. And what did Missouri just do? They would fine cops $50,000 of their own money if they dare follow the law.
No, it's insane and
amazing.
And honestly, just think about how weak federal gun laws are. It's not like the federal gun laws are like draconian and make it, it's not like we're living in, I don't know, Japan, where it's incredibly difficult to get your hands on a gun. No, federal regulations pertaining to weapons like guns are super lax. That's part of the reason why we're drowning in guns. So what exactly do they have an issue with? So the lawmakers in Missouri are saying, no, we're preempting what we're likely to see from the Biden administration, because Biden has been very tough and very strong on gun regulation. In fact, he suggested forming a commission to study gun violence in America.
Whoa, you're gonna study it? I didn't know he was gonna be that tough.
Man,
and a commission to study it.
Geez.
That is doubly tough.
Jeez, wow. I mean, tough regulations. So these lawmakers in Missouri are very worried about it. And you're right, federal law supersedes state law. It is kind of interesting to see that Republicans will claim that states' rights happens to be the most important thing in the world. We need to support states' rights. And then when it comes to issues they don't like let's say abortion, right? They want the federal or the Supreme Court, I should say, to strike down or reverse Roe v. Wade to ensure that every single state bans abortion. So their states' rights argument is nonsense. The fact that they think they need this unconstitutional law that will get struck down in the courts is ridiculous. And of course, St. Louis, both the city and the county are suing in response to this. And they're likely to win in court because federal law supersedes state law. We'll repeat it again. And what's also interesting is that one of the police chiefs has stepped down as a result of this law. The state law prompted the resignation of the police chief of O'Fallon, a St. Louis suburb that is home to about 89,000 people and is the state's 7th largest city. The outgoing chief, Philip Dupuis, said in a statement that this month that the law would, quote, decrease public safety and increase frivolous lawsuits designed to harass and penalize good, hardworking law enforcement agencies. And by the way, I mean, it's worth noting that even though federal laws are laxed, one of the most important federal laws, which is background checks, not universal yet, but still, has actually prevented quite a few bad people from obtaining weapons. So just last year alone, in 2020, background checks blocked a record high of 300,000 gun sales.
By the way, why do they block those gun sales? Because a lot of those people are felons. Some of them have restraining orders against them, and some of them have already committed violence. Some we're worried they're going to commit violence against their domestic partners, et cetera, et cetera. Because you don't get blocked for no reason. You get blocked for, there's got to be a high bar, right, to get blocked, because the gun manufacturers want everybody to have weapons. We can't even block terrorists from getting weapons. So if you're on that list, there's a very good reason you're on that list. And it's 300,000 of them that got blocked. By the way, there's almost no penalties. So people go and lie on those forms all the time. So imagine all the people who didn't get blocked, who should have gotten blocked, because they prosecute 0.01% of those cases. In other words, lie all you want, you're gonna get away with it. And so even in this incredibly lax situation, Missouri says, no, you guys are limiting guns too much. We have all these nonstop shootings in St. Louis and other places, record shooting sprees. Not enough, we want more massacres. And so I'm gonna go to our audience here, YouTube Super Chat. Graham Henry says, I don't get it. Does placing legal restriction on police departments mean we don't back the blue? Apparently not in Missouri. They don't give a damn about police in Missouri. R. Stone, or at least Republicans don't. R. Stone says, oh great, so Missouri's trying to audition for a real live version of The Purge. It certainly looks like it. But finally, Matthias Giovanni wrote in, before we even said it, how does this bypass police immunity? Can we piggyback to go after the cops on top of it who break the law? Well, that's the amazing part, right? So the Republicans in Missouri say, if a cop wrongly shoots and kills an unarmed black man, we don't want him to be held responsible. But if a cop enforces federal law on gun restrictions, we want to hold him responsible up to $50,000. Look at those priorities. And then Republicans wonder, well, why are we called racist? I don't get it. We don't mind black people being killed at all, or having them, beat up black protesters in Ferguson and St. Louis over and over and over again. No problem. We will never hold the police accountable to that. But the police didn't let criminals get guns? No, that's it. That's it. Give me $50,000. So all that stuff, Blue Lives Matter, they don't believe any of it. All they care about is being able to basically use their power over us. And that's what they proved in Missouri. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.